Hey everybody, I'm just sitting here in my office. It's Tuesday, and I was just reading in Romans, and I thought I would share something with you about it. Again, this RD shout out, or this Rusted Down shout out, it's all about really just if I have a thought or something like that, would love to share it with you guys because we can't talk all the time. And if I was trying to text this stuff out, your text messages would be through the roof, and your parents would scream at you and ground you for 4 years. I'm reading in Romans 12, and I've got this. It's just a brand new translation that just came out called the Common English Translation, and I've been reading in this Bible for the last few weeks. And Paul's writing in Romans 12, and he's talking about almost like what 1 Corinthians 12 talks about. He talks about almost the exact same thing about giftings and using your giftings to help people. And there's this common theme throughout Romans 12, and that is several times he makes the statement that we shouldn't think better of ourselves than what's normal. In other words, we shouldn't think of ourselves in a proportion that's not good, to the point where, and you know what I'm talking about, it's like where you start thinking you're so good, it's that so good is almost like, we're really not as good as we think, and it's kind of like we overrate ourselves, and if our performance is consistent in a good way, and what I mean by that is if like we're making good grades, or we're dating people that are good looking, or we've got good clothes, or we've got this great fashion sense, and like we've got all these continually good things going on in our life, and like we're doing good in our extracurricular activities, like in band or sports or cheerleading or whatever, and like so we've got these constant things coming into our life that are telling us that we're really good. We can start thinking of ourselves in a way that's unhealthy. And like when you're in school, like when you're a little kid, everybody wants to really encourage you to have high self-esteem. And there's nothing wrong with having high self-esteem. A healthy self-esteem, I think, is probably more congruent. I'm using big words here. It probably runs better with the Bible, what the Bible says about us, better than saying have a high self-esteem. If you start having a high self-esteem, then you start thinking of yourself as better than other people who don't have all those places where they have all this attention that's saying that they're good. And what I mean by that is if we start thinking of ourselves in such a way to where we think that we are so good or that we're better than other people, then all of a sudden we create this place in our life where we can't give things to other people. And by that I mean the gifts that God's put inside of us, like to encourage people, or to serve people, or to lead people, or to, the Bible says to prophesy, or to teach. All these different amazing gifts that God's given us, if we think we're better than everybody else, then we don't see the reason why we should share our gifts with anybody else. And that totally negates, cancels out I just threw up like the Generation X sign. It totally cancels out the idea of the body, right? So I mean, if we're supposed to be a body, all these parts connected to each other, benefiting each other, my nose benefits my mouth benefits my arms, like how can all those things, how does all that work? Well, if I'm hungry, I smell food, I take in food, food gives me the ability to work my body. So I mean, all these parts are working together, and if one part thinks it's better than the other, and it's, if my nose decided, look, I'm way too good for you guys, I'm just not going to be here anymore, then I don't have a sense of smell, then the rest of my body is harmed because of that. And so it's like there's this constant theme that runs throughout this entire chapter, and he says, don't think too highly of yourself at the very beginning of Romans chapter 12 in verse 3. And he says, instead, be reasonable. And as everybody, be reasonable. Think within the realm of not being so crazy in your thinking. Think about it. We do wrong things. We're not as good as we think we are. We make mistakes and we have issues. And that's not to take you down a road where you think really bad of yourself, but it's to go, okay, look, I've got something to offer, but I also have places in my life where people have something to offer me. I'm not the best. And, it takes a lot of what we call humility. And humility is really It's this thinking that says, I know what I can contribute, but I realize I'm not the best. And that humility helps you do things for other people. It even goes down here and it says, consider, and in verse 16 it says, consider everyone as equal and don't think that you're better than anyone else. Instead, associate with people who have no status. And that's been something in my heart right now, especially for kids in high school. People who don't have status get looked down on and get, are thrown out of the social mix of things. The people are like, yeah, whatever, don't pay any attention to that person. When really, man, those are the people that we should really be investing in. If they don't have a sense of who they are in Jesus Christ, then they'll never contribute to the body. So there's that crazy upside down. Sometimes people think too much of themselves and they don't contribute, and then some people don't think enough of themselves and they don't contribute. And it's just like, it's messed up, right? So we have to have this middle ground. We have to know who we are in Jesus and know that we couldn't be anything unless Jesus did something in our lives so that we can contribute to the overall body. And that encourages me because, guys, I'm not the best. I think, sometimes I think I don't even know how I got here and doing what I'm doing, but I'm here. And right, so I get to pour out what I have. And I know what I have is not a lot, but I know who I am in Jesus. So I know that if Jesus is in me, then I have something to offer. And that's the same thing for you guys. You have something to offer. You have gifts. You have abilities. And God gave you a grace or an ability to do all these amazing things. And you need to start doing them because if you have this place in your life where you think you're too good, humble yourself. If you're in this place where you think you're not good enough, realize who you are in Jesus. And that's an amazing place that all of us need to get to, is who are we in Jesus Christ? Find out who you are. The scriptures tell us all day long that we have these places with Jesus that He's prepared for us because of how much He loved us and how much He still loves us. And so finding out who we are and what we can do will really benefit everybody in the overall sense. So find out who you are in Jesus Christ, and have a great week. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to be back with you guys in service. So have a great day, and we will talk to you on the flip-flop.